Or you got 90 seconds. So that was so exciting. It's going to be more exciting. Okay, I will call to order the Town of Unicoi Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, regularly scheduled meeting for March 18th, 2024. Invocation will be Reverend Eddie Blazer, Unicoi Church of God. Thank you once again for coming and covering us in prayer. And we will follow that and with the pledge. So, Reverend Blazer.
Dear kind and gracious Father, we come to you today and thank you for your tremendous love and grace and mercy toward us. Precious Lord, we just pray that the proceedings of this meeting, Lord, be under your covering and under your protection, dear God. And Father, we just pray that through your divine name, that your will be done in Jesus' lovely and precious name. Amen.
Amen. Now, salute to the flag. Attention, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Blazer. All right, welcome, everyone. Before we do roll call, just a reminder, if you would like to speak on something, we ask you to fill out a little speaker request form right here. There's a few pens there as well. Once you fill that out, if you would return that to Laura there at the table, we would be grateful. So thank you for that. Okay, Mr. Williams, call roll, please.
Alderman Linden.
Here.
Alderman McIntyre.
Here.
Alderman Bradford.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here. All right, thank you. All right, now, approval of February 26 minutes. Those are in your packet. We have a motion to approve the minutes. Second. And a second by Alderman Bradford to approve minutes. Any questions or comments about those minutes? Hearing none, we will call for the vote.
Alderman Linden.
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Bradford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes. All right, thank you. This is now an opportunity for citizens to speak, should they like to speak on something unrelated to the agenda items. If there is anything someone would like to have an opportunity to express. Seeing none, I guess we will go to the next item on the agenda. Had anything come in that email or otherwise? Okay, all right, thank you, thank you. Okay, moving on, old business. This is the second reading, which will include a public hearing for ordinance 2024-318, an ordinance of the Town of Unicoi to amend the fiscal year budget. And this is a second reading. It is included in your packet. I will adjourn the BMA meeting and open a public meeting for any public comment that would like to be shared with the board regarding the amendment, the budget amendment. Mr. Williams, will you just refresh real quick for everyone that amendment?
Sure, we added a line item for the CDBG federal grant and also for the TDEC early utilities grant.
And that was monies that were appropriated for a repair on Massachusetts. So those were accounted for in the budget. Public hearing. Not hearing any public comment, we'll close that and we will reopen, I never use the right words, the BMA meeting, I'm sorry. We'll go back into the BMA session. How about that? Does that work? I need a motion and a second for this ordinance, please, board.
I'll make a motion for the ordinance to be
Thank you.
approved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second by Alderman Lemon. Any further discussion? Questions, comments? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Bradford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes, motion passes unanimously. All right, no unfinished business, no other business in that category, new business. We have guests with us tonight from the Employee Volunteer Fire Department that would like to give an update. I have Chief Wesley's name, and I also have Dustin Ledford's name, but I see there's another visitor here as well. Don't know who would like to speak, but if you would like to come up to address the board, we are ready to hear what you have to share.
I'll get started off here.
Okay.
This is Matt Pollock, one of our board members.
Oh, Matt, I didn't recognize you. I
I
know you, I sat beside you, I didn't
The
recognize.
mayor did, thank you, board, for allowing us to be here tonight. We have several things kind of discussed tonight. We talked about grants, some of us asked questions about our grants. It's been put before us. First thing, some of y'all didn't know, we got a $459,600 grant for a new truck. That's being built as we stand. That's an approved grant already. Cost share on that was $21,986. We gave you a state grant cost share. We asked the board here before. I think it was about 2 years ago when that came forward, that grant did, because it's behind quite a bit. You wanted to help us pay that off, but we did get a state grant to pay that forward. So that's something we didn't necessarily need. And we got a state grant for $249,550 for recruitment and retention. That's to kind of help offset the cost of getting new people in, advertising. Some people talk about our sign down there, and forgive me for shaking like a leaf. I'm not that nervous. I am, but I've got Parkinson's, so it comes into play a whole lot. Anyway, that's where the new sign came from. A lot of people question their sign. That's from grant money to help advertise for recruitment, whatever it is we can do to try to get people in. This day and time, it's really, really difficult to get volunteers for an department. And it's really hard. And of course, we just got a rescue squad grant for $65,951. Have some tools that we had on our previous proposal earlier in the year here for our assistance in town. And we did get some money on that also. So we revised our volunteer fire department. Asked for what money we're going to use for our next fiscal year budget. And I'll just briefly touch on it. All y'all have that before you there. But we're looking at upgrading one of our trucks to a pumper truck. We've redone the way we do things a lot here in the county. But we're doing relay pumping. I don't know if anybody have any idea what that is or not. But a lot of our driveways and places where we get trucks to nowadays, you can't set up a dump tank. Sometimes you can't even get 2 trucks in the driveway. So we have to run a hose from one truck to pump up a hill to a house or something of that nature. So we've got one truck capable of pumping water, carrying water to that. We've got 2 trucks capable of that, but we got one that's dedicated dump tank only. And we got several here in the county that provide us water and don't have that capability. So what we want to do is upgrade that truck. And the money is set for you there to upgrade that truck. It's going to be a pretty good cost. I believe that was $64,000, and we did get a rural development grant assistance on that truck, but our part of that is going to be 33%, or their part will be 33%. So we're asking this year for a little upgrade. We'd like to have in the next 4 years an annual budget of $54,000 to upgrade this truck and look into the future of buying a new truck. We need a new brush truck to get on. You know, we do have a wildland grant out now that maybe coming into us. Hopefully we can land that. But we've got a lot of grants coming forward. If y'all have any questions or anything, Dustin here, he's wrote most of our grants. Forgive me for not being too, but the pump installation on that truck, to change it over to a full pumper truck or have another full service truck in our community would be $53,000 to do that. So shipping costs about $5,000 a car. Hydro adapter, of course, all that's in our budget. I can do y'all to see for you. I don't have to read up there to do that. But the bottom line on that is we would like to have us $10,000 or $54,000 for the next 4 years. Committed from the town to help us upgrade. Of course, our town's growing. We're building new homes here all the time, and new home plan. And we're not going to stay stuck. And we need to, anybody wants to be a firefighter, we're always looking for people. Always trying to get people in. We've added a few. We've got a new training class coming up. It's going to add some new people to our department. So we're always looking. We need help. So if y'all have any questions, Dustin, you're welcome to come and make any comments you need to make. Help us out through this. Anything I may have missed.
You done pretty well. Actually, remembered a lot more than I thought you remembered. That's good. So it's my understanding, I got all evening, right, Mayor?
Yes, you've
Thank
got,
you, ma'am.
yeah, and I need to be in bed by midnight.
Okay, yes, ma'am. All right.
And his bedtime's 9.
I know you enjoy coming up here and speaking, so.
Yeah.
And we greatly appreciate the opportunity, like Chief said. I'm going to briefly touch this real quick, give a little bit more in-depth. Everything that we've talked about tonight, all the grants, what we've got already, we've secured $750,000 in the last 2 years. And we've got another almost 400,000 applied for this year. That seems like a lot of money, and we're coming to you asking for a 4-year commitment on a budget. Seems kind of ridiculous, but the things that we have applied for and received money for, and the things we applied for, still waiting for the awards to come out. All that is for specific equipment, specific tasks, resources. This particular one here was also another grant. It just happened to be a USDA Rural Development Grant to upgrade this project. And the stipulations on that was because, you guys deal with USDA all the time, our area, they allow us 35%. Basically what they're going to cover. We're going to be responsible for the other percentage of that. So it's basically a cost share. So what we've come to determine is that truck has been sitting really idle for quite some time. We hardly ever drive it, simply because it's not adaptable to our tactics. There's a lot of places, like Chief said, we can't set a dump tank up. We've got a 2,500 gallon tank that we usually would set up and just dump the water in it, pump from it, and then have to go refill again. But it's not optimal for what we do. So that truck has it's only got 153 hours on it, and this is a little over 7,000 miles. It's a 2004 model. So our other tanker is the same year, and we use it every call. So if we had the pump assembly on that truck to do the same thing that our other tanker currently does now, it's going to be set up the same way. The manufacturer that built those trucks for us is willing to go ahead and take care of this. It's basically a retrofit, very simple. It's already built for that. But the USDA has graciously offered us that grant this year. They're just waiting on their monies to drop, just like everybody else is. So we're looking for anticipate the next couple months for that. And we're going to look into the USDA loan program because their interest rates are a lot better. So for us to be able to cover that, our main goal is to set money back. Mayor, we've talked about this in conversations, and I know, Mayor Cooper, we've talked about this a couple of times in some meetings, how we need to structure ourselves to be able to set money back to cover these costs in the future. So that is our end game. And this project it's a necessity, whether you guys are able to help us with it or not, we're still gonna have to move forward. But that's 4 years that it's kind of gonna set us behind on being able to put money back. Our goal is if we can get the town to help us cover the next 4 years, spread $10,000 and it's covered for the next 4 years. Every part of that's covered. What that will allow us to do as a department is take the equivalent amount of money that we would have had to use for our budget, and put that back to purchase. We've got trucks right now, we've got 2 trucks we have to replace. Our big engine, our big 4-door engine, that truck you can no longer buy parts for. The pump assembly, it's obsolete. So if something happens to it, that truck is done. We've already decommissioned our old 95 brush truck. If you followed us on Facebook, you've seen we've done that this weekend. It's no longer serviceable for emergency use. It's got some issues on the frames, so, kind of hinders us safely to be able to operate it. So we're decommissioning things. We actually took the parts off a bit on the pump assembly and put it on our other truck, our cancer truck, our Welcome, and made it brush capable until we can get a replacement. So we're pulling every area and every facet of money and resources that we have that we can see viable and try to utilize everything we currently have in our inventory now to make do until we can get this other stuff. So, but everything, like Chief said, is we provided you in these packets. We're basically asking for a 4-year commitment. Our normal operating expense, we are asking for a $4,000 increase, just annual on it. Just like everybody else, our cost of living has increased. Our fuel, our insurance, everything, just like you guys have to deal with here at the municipality, it's going up. And that also trickles down on us. So that's the unfortunate part of our economy. But so we're asking for the $44,000 for our just annual operating expense and a $10,000 commitment above and beyond that, at least just for the next 4 years. That will help us get that USDA grant covered. We can make a one-time payment on our USDA loan for the next 4 years. That's our goal, and we hope that that you guys are able to accommodate that. It will be gracious and very appreciative if you guys can consider this new package. The last proposal that we got, if we didn't tell you, is now obsolete. The one you got mailed a couple of weeks ago from us. The equipment that we asked for on that, the rescue tools, we got that grant from the state rescue squad grant. So that money is now going to be paying for those rescue tools. So that is one of the reasons why we brought this new proposal. And it's a lot better proposal for you guys. So that's all I've got. I'm going to open that up to you guys if you have any questions for us while we're here.
Any questions? This is not something that we will vote on tonight.
No.
The fire department wanted to come to kind of share their status with us, and the adjustment and the request. And we will be bringing this request into our budget workshops, okay? And as we sort things out, and if we have any follow-up, when we look in more detail, we will definitely reach out. But thank you. That clarifies some. This does look very different.
It's very different.
Request.
Hopefully
So,
it will be easier on you guys financially to be able to spread that out over 4 fiscal years.
and I'm really excited to hear equipment is good, but people is better.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. You still gotta have,
People is better.
you still have to have feet in the boots,
That's
okay?
right.
Equipment don't roll out of the building without feet in the boots.
That's
So,
right.
Does any,
You gotta have those.
does anybody here have a question?
What kind of response have you been getting from the local motion of $35?
Oh, that's, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people don't know. We do send those flyers out, you'll get them in your mailbox. That's what we call membership dues. Residential is 35, business is 75. We've kept that pretty close for many years now. The downside of that is we only average about 18, maybe 20% return on a good year. And it's discouraging, and it's just something we have dealt with. We can't force that upon our citizens to pay. It's a donation. So we're still going to provide you the service whether or not you pay it or not. But every $35 that you send in, you kind of see where it goes. It's very expensive to operate what we do. So that being said, money's coming in real good this year. I don't have a total for you.
We got close to $14,000 in already.
Okay.
We didn't send over that, like, what we paid for. So, they're coming in real good.
Does that answer your question, sir?
Good idea to send out a notice or pay the paper something. Get your dues.
Well, as part of that recruit retention grant too, that also offers us some monies to where we can put some advertising in the newspapers and things, and you'll be seeing that some. So,
I think that we need to incentivize them to get their dues in. When they send it in, their name goes in a pot, and at a certain date, with some of that money,
Yeah.
you can award like $3 $50 Walmart gift cards. I bet they would bring it in. We could put a drop off at
Well-
fire department, drop off at town hall, and a drop off right up here at the visitor center.
we will,
We ought to try it.
we
See
will
what
entertain,
happens.
any suggestions
I mean, we
that
could
you guys
try it.
could float toward us. We're open, our doors are open for suggestions.
I was just thinking of that sitting here. We could try it. You never know.
We just kind of in that stale point, an 18 to 20%, and that's on the average year. It's been that way for a long time. And we send out, yeah. Well, just to give you a quick example before I close up here, we send out right at 2,500 newsletters. That's not person, that's per residence. So just do the math. I mean, you got businesses obviously, but if you just done 2,500 times $35, look what that is. I wouldn't have to be coming up here and saying, Ms. Mayor, we need some money. We need some help. You know, we'd be able to be self-sustained. That's in a perfect world. We don't, unfortunately, we don't have that capability, but that's kind of where we're at. We're at about 18 to 20% of 2,500 that we send out each year. Okay, is that, anybody else?
And I think that the word should get out that people, need to try to pay
Yeah.
their dues. Do you ever have any fundraisers or anything like that?
Our newsletter is our fire news. That is our main one each year. And it trickles in. So the big majority of it we try to send in prior to tax season because we know people's got some frivolous spending they're going to be doing. So why not throw a little bit to donate? So we target certain times of the year because we know the financial status of our citizens is a little bit better. We've entertained the idea of doing it twice a year, doing like a follow-up mid-year and sending another round of flyers out. With this money off this grant we got, it covers funding to pay for those flyers.
And that's expensive.
It costs us, the one we sent out this year, the postcard, $2,500 of those we sent out, it's about $1,300.
I mean, is there anything
Yeah.
that you do, like I said,
If you're asking for like
fundraisers like you said.
Fish dinners or turkey shoots or stuff like that, no, but we talk about things like that. But there again, we've gotta have manpower and resources and, there's things, we still can do it where we're sitting at right now. We're always gonna entertain that idea. So, like I said, we rely on you guys for a lot of suggestions. You see things that we don't see a lot of times in the community and people's needs and wants. So if you guys ever see anything you think might benefit us physically and financially, hey, our doors are always open. We're open to any suggestion that you have. So,
How many active members do you have?
right now we're about 14. And that seems like kind of a significant number, but you gotta think too, majority of us work day jobs. So the day shift coverings are harder to cover, but we have mutual aid support in the county. And we've got mutual aid support outside the county that we can rely on if needed. So we always work good together. So we've got assets either way. The call is going to get answered. But obviously, we need to be able to have boots, shoes in our feet in our boots in our own station to cover our own costs rather than not have to rely on somebody to run for us. That's kind of where we're at right now. So if you know anybody, send them our way. Hey, we got boot sizes for you too now.
We do have a major fundraiser, our fireworks sales for our Firemen's Association does provide us funding every year through that fundraiser. So they provided each department this year $10,500 from that fundraiser event. So that's a pretty big chunk of change for us every year. But we are looking at some different avenues, maybe where it can do.
Dustin, will you cover age?
Yeah, as far as membership, right now, until we get our membership built up to where we have enough to where we can invest in our younger generation, that's our end goal too, you know. Us old guys can't do it forever. But 18 is the minimum. Standard stuff, gotta have a valid driver's license, any felonies, no alcohol, drug abuse. Standard things like if you was going to apply for a regular job. You know, part of this grant too is we have the capability of sending you and get physicals. So make sure you're healthy enough to do the job. The job's pretty demanding. So very high stress environment. And the unfortunate part nowadays is cardiac related fatalities within the fire service. And that's usually 2 to 3 days after an event. And that's what we're seeing. So by having the initial physicals and exams, we can catch a lot of those things prior to. So we have those capabilities, but age limits are 18 right now until we can get some more staff. Once we get more staff, we'll be able to invest in and start the junior program back up. Good. All right, anybody got some questions? I'm done.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate you all for having us, and as always, it's a pleasure.
And as always, we thank you for what y'all do. I know many days go by and you don't feel like you're appreciated, but you are. You are.
Anytime, y'all will come by the station, see us down there working, and we'd be glad to have you. And a lot of our team would appreciate y'all reaching out sometime, saying, hey, appreciate what you're doing. They don't care enough. Y'all feel like stopping by, come by meeting nights. We meet every fourth Monday, so y'all want to come by and visit, listen in on the meeting, you know, see what we're doing, keep up to date. Y'all welcome to do that.
Or if you guys want to come out and just look at the truck that's in question and, you know, be able to explain that a little bit better if you have any questions on the particular on the truck.
Okay, anybody else, anything? No? Nothing? Okay, we're good. Thank you very, very much. And look, it's not even midnight.
Hey, put that in the book. Mark it, it won't happen very often.
Thank you. All righty. Next on the agenda, consideration and approval of a contract between the Town of Unicoi and First Tennessee Development District to provide the 2024-25 fiscal year local planning advisory services. This is a continuation of what the Town of Unicoi and many municipalities in the region have routinely been doing, and that is to contract for planning services. So there's nothing new or added to. The contract has been included in your packet for review. Is there a motion and a second?
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Cooper, seconded by Alderman Wolf. Alderman, whatever that was. Alderman Radford. Any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes. Motion passes by unanimous approval. Thank you. All right, resolution 2024-539. A resolution of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the County of Unicoi for the purpose of reviewing and updating public records policy. I think there were some questions as to, on our public records and records requests, correct me if I'm wrong, years ago, this board had approved our public records request by using job title as custodian and administrator of public records. And some of our job titles have changed, so this is an effort to update that. That's the brief discussion. Mr. Williams, if you'd like to share anything further.
It's recommended to review every 2 years. It had not been updated since 2017, so it was time to review it. And we used model forms from the comptroller's office and from MTS to develop this policy.
And just cleaned it up, made it more exact. Yes? Okay. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Vice Mayor Cooper is the motion.
Second.
Alderman Radford, Alderwoman Radford is the second. Any further discussion or comments?
Let's do it.
Hearing none, other than a compliment, we will call for the vote.
Alderman Linden.
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, now we have reports of offices and committees. Economic development, also Bennett.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It has been a minute. I feel like the dates have moved on me as to when we were meeting first part of the year, holiday after another, so finally glad to be back here. So start things off, industrial recruitment and expansion. MFS and Slovakia are still moving forward with this expansion, 200 jobs between them. MFS is moving quickly, Slovakia less so, but moving. The other big expansion we had in Fed Up Foods, where everything felt perfectly lined up. And then as we were ready to finally go, we got held up there for a few weeks and we figured something was up, and we were right. They were going to do an expansion, an expensive expansion at the Shallow Ford plant in Irwin, but they found an available facility ready to go in North Carolina. And they'll be profitable in 2 years instead of 7. So it was a no-brainer. So we lost out on a great opportunity for some high-paying industrial jobs there. So that was disappointing for sure. They said that they still love the community, love working with us all, and still would love to find a future here. But at the end of the day, business is business, and they have orders to meet. So we look forward to seeing what else they can bring here and wish them the best for sure. Some good news though is that we're still moving forward on industrial recruitment and making progress. In the last 2 weeks, we had somebody else here in Unicoi looking at the IMC building for what's called Project Biscuit. Would have been 50 jobs, 30 million investment. Like the area, like the building, except when they got in it, they realized there was metal shavings everywhere, and they are a food manufacturer. So probably not going to be a great place, just in case you get shrapnel on your biscuits there. So more things are coming. Project Power is still an option. They're still considering the building if they can fit and make that happen. So we'll see, and we're going to keep advertising and see what we can do in there. I hear that Subaki has a leased warehouse space, month-on-month basis in that building now. So at least one property is helping the others with their expansion. So definitely a balance. All right, with our CSX office building redevelopment, something we talked about for a long time, but we're really finally in the closing days of this. The surveyors have been out, they've measured, they've got their paperwork. Now we're only a few weeks until that's complete. I've got the contract for assignment from Doug Schultz. All we gotta do is change the language in that CSX contract pending the survey, and then we should be able to turn over the bill. Get that going, so next 2 months.
Are you gonna take a vacation or a cruise?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, a little time built up. I haven't actually had that many breaks yet. It'll be, I think we should all do something for that. Especially those who've had to listen to me consistently in board meetings about it. Yeah, it's moving. That hotel study that we done to, sort of reinforce what can be done in that CSX building. Part 2 is finished. It's 100 pages long. Goes into a lot of details that our market can support a hotel, which is nice enough. So it's good to know. Residential developments have really gained traction again in the last couple of weeks or so. One developer I met with, and asked about the community, he's from Jonesboro, and he's already off to the races. He's already bought and closed on property, all in the county, not our town yet, but he's interested in being everywhere he can. And, it's gonna be multifamily and then kind of the more entry-level price points, about $300,000 instead of $500,000 per house, which I think is more approachable for a lot of people. So we're optimistic there on what he can do. And have an upcoming meeting with the developer who wants to do a neighborhood of cabins in the county. Could also be a big help. And then a different developer with connections in us today called and wants some information, see how I can help them prepare for another multifamily 20-unit development. Also, so we will see what we can do there. Overall, I mean, this is really good news, more than I think people realize. Like heads and beds means dollars for the communities. People are gonna be shopping here, property taxes. It's all beneficial, places to live while they work, and some cheaper places for people who no longer afford our housing to get back to. It's got news today too that our average listing price in the county is now equal to most neighborhoods in Johnson City. We're well above Carter County, Johnson County, and so like we are the premium real estate. It's showing. That's great for a lot of us who own property, but for those who didn't, maybe need some communities. So definitely progress. Grants, we got applied for that ARC area development grant for the bike park extension. We're past the pre-application now, which is a good sign that we're most likely going to win the grant. So to clarify some details and make sure they're aware of everything we're going to do in the follow through. But that's going to mean jobs too. The USDA has a calculation for how many visitors you get versus the jobs you create. And a park this size in this region could create up to 63 jobs in Nuclear County, mainly retail, customer-facing, hotel-based kind of jobs for a park that could be as large as the one we'll be expanding to. So it could be a big plus. Apply for the Broadband Ready Communities Grant, sorry. It should be a very helpful workforce development program that we developed alongside Battle Academy in Johnson City. Basically educating people on how to do work from home jobs. So if you can't find one of the picture skills here, having access to quick internet really can make a difference. So we're gonna give them those skills as well, skills they would have otherwise had to go on somewhere else to get. Got some good feedback on that. I think we should win, but we'll see. I'm still waiting on our contract from the state, 6 months in on that small business grant. And I'm also working on a site development grant for the Public Works building in Irvine. I'm going to get that building, refurbished, access to Carolina Avenue, makes another marketable site. And I'm also in discussions with Senator Sutherland about having the armory donated to accommodate like a switch. Urban Public Works over there, and then that gives us a 60,000 square foot building to market. Second Street hasn't moved because people don't want to build these inflated prices. We got that site finished at pretty much the worst time. But having a building ready, that building was more likely to settle down than it would have been any time in the last 20 years and probably any time in the next 20 years. So, take advantage of the market while we got it. That building is too big for them to maintain as well. They need a much smaller space. They don't need 60,000 square feet of space to maintain 4 refuse trucks. So I think everybody can win in this arrangement. And we also have the EDD marketing grants. We've got press releases out, applications coming in, and the direct assistance we're using to help small businesses in the county. Working on the Tennessee Trails and Tunes Festival with the Chamber and Rise, a lot of planning, everything's together. Still working on a couple of different sponsorships. That would be May 4th. The bands included, the Birds Can Fly, Tennessee Bluegrass Band, and Tim Duggar, all have a pretty substantial following. Will hopefully make this event more successful.
That used to be called the Outdoors.
This is the Outdoors Festival, and for a variety of reasons, we decided to change things up. But overall, the partnership's working well. Got brand development done. Like more features, more attractions, people to go to. You're really trying to market it more internal, things for people in the county to go do, as opposed to just hikers. And hopefully that can, give us all something to lean on a little bit. But I think that's all I got. You don't have any questions?
Anyone ever look at the old CE class property that you all got leveled out?
The Second Street site? Yeah, so, yeah, we have had visits. There are the ones that were interested, the one's called Project Sim. They have been on hold for a little while now. I did just submit on another application Friday, to submit this property that actually works out really well. It's one of the ones that requires land that's less than, the available property there. The issue that we're seeing, and I've actually got a report created, something to make it a little more concise for everybody, but a lot of these requests we get in, a lot of industries we talk to, they either want an existing building, about 100,000 square feet, 150, or 50 acres. They don't want to buy just 16 and put a building they need on it because they want the possibility to expand. And essentially the only thing that site can house is 150 square foot and barely enough parking. So it's really trying to, find that threshold. Part of me considered working with the town to create a spec building, which could sell. We do the initial investment and lease it to an industrial customer. But I don't know if we have a political bill for that at this point. And I have kind of proved that out to them, I think, a bit more, like where would the success be, where are the leads, who would want that, how quickly we turn this around. But yeah, we have showed it, since I've been in this job, 3 different folks. We showed it to.
Only 16 acres, is that what you said?
Yeah, so that's really the issue. So, but having the public works building as an option, we could get somebody in there sooner. Even in the current situation, current shape, which includes having a sewer running underneath the building, which is not ideal. We still had somebody who got to the final stages of site selection looking at that building. So if we can apply for the state site development grant, relocate the sewer, bring in access that doesn't go to the neighborhood, you can immediately make that property a lot more marketable. And the engineer came out, we had an engineering report done. They said the building itself is in very solid shape. The roof is good. It's about 10 years old. It's got very thick concrete floors too, the heavy manufacturing. So, it's just, but besides that, it's a good marketable property. So, it's kind of our best shot, at least in this market, to get new jobs in the county. Once construction prices go down, though, I think we'll find some people who are interested in Second Street as well.
I think there might be a question in our audience.
Any movement or any idea on usage of the golf course?
So the issue was the grant that we were, having a lot of things pending on, did not go through. We missed it by 7/10 of a point. The grant, sorry, so there's a sewer extension grant that would make that property a lot more marketable and influence our ability to negotiate. Out of 100 points, we missed it by 7/10. Yeah, so that felt really good. But we're working on an appeal process. We got to do some politicking. Fingers crossed. We're not going to give up. We're going to try to find other solutions too.
Johnson City is going to reissue their RFP. They did not get anything, or they did not get anything they wanted to pursue. So they're reissuing as of a couple of months.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, I actually called Randy Tribbett on that today. I'll wait for a
I
call
had
back.
texted Steve
Oh, did you?
about a month ago.
Yeah,
He said, we're getting ready to reissue. So I don't know if they didn't get anything,
Yeah.
or they just didn't get anything they wanted.
See, that's the thing is that property, and that's the issue we have in our negotiations with Johnson City is they think that it's, worth all this money, and it's not. It's worth something as a golf course, just takes money to operate. Or if you have a sewer to it, then it's worth something. So right now we're just in disagreement, and they said, well, if you don't give us this amount of money, basically we'll just go find somebody else, which they did not find. So yeah, so we
That's in
gotta.
our favor.
So yeah, so we're trying to feel the situation out and see if they can come back down to earth a little bit, and then we can kind of go from there. But if we get the sewer down there, then all of a sudden, a lot of those, especially the back 9 and stuff, we open up for homes, which would be ideal. We still have some other ideas of public parks and things we'd like to see and get the grants for that as well.
But if all that property are willing to sell, though, many of those acres could be turned into home sites. Some of it is not going to be suitable for living people.
Yeah, they will start digging the irrigation plan in January. This is late March.
Spring, yeah. Okay.
You said they did start digging?
So they will start on that. They were
Oh, yeah.
last year.
That would- yeah.
Yeah. We're not gonna mow it anymore. Well, they haven't done it.
We
Yeah,
don't have to mow it, yeah.
you know, I tried
We'll be on,
the,
we'll stay on.
yeah.
This is when they hate owning it, when they have to start.
We had to mow it, yeah, it's not cheap. We got to, you know, we tried the goodwill approach, you know, and, you know, let's be neighborly. Catch on, you know,
That's what I was told, they wanted to be there.
well,
That's what they say.
neighborly at fair market value, you know how it works.
Yeah.
So we'll have to determine what that is, and what we can get done.
We haven't forgotten about it.
Have not forgotten, yeah, we are appealing that current decision and things like that too. You know, 7/10 of a point should hold back this entire town's possible future development, you know, so we'll see. Any other questions?
Thank you, Austin. We do a lot of stuff that it takes a long time for some of it to come to fruition. It's a lot of work and between the idea and seeing something tangible. And I appreciate it. You don't give up. You gotta keep pushing and keep.
I'm the internal optimist, whether it's insane or not.
Yeah. You gotta be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Buffalo Valley Historic Association.
Our planning meeting last week, we continued on our Easter, which is, it's March 29th. It's also the same day that Unicoi Community Hospital, AKA Ballard Health, is having their Easter egg hunt.
Right.
So to combat that, they're gonna have food trucks. We're gonna give free hot dogs. Sometimes that will draw.
Oh, they go one to the
I'll feed
other.
us get hot dogs.
Yeah.
We're also looking at some other things. One of them being with WJHL coming out with Daytime Tri-Cities and doing our historic days in something besides October, you know.
Yeah.
So they do TV wise, and also possibly a senior prom for senior citizens. Anybody over 50 is a senior citizen. But these are things that we're working on. Yes. It's gonna be
Our
elegant.
whole board is
It's gonna be elegant.
Okay.
Just remember Lisa in prayers, because her husband had chemo today.
Oh, are they in town or did they?
I don't know. I was assuming they are.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, planning.
Okay, this is kind of a complicated more of one, so I'll just the highlights.
Okay.
The town of Unicoi Planning Commission met on March 4th, 2024, and under new business was a zoning amendment petition. When asked by the board if the planners would have to go back and add footnotes, Corey, our town's First Tennessee Development District representative, stated that our current working ordinance will have to be gone over and footnotes added and research done before it can be coded and before final approval, which will take quite a while. Vice Mayor Cooper presented to the Planning Commission that the petition was not legal. He said it should be where an average person should be able to know what it's about. Town Attorney Carl Hull said he would somewhat disagree with that, but the Tennessee Open Meetings Act is currently making changes and has not definitely, it has not defined adequate public notices as of yet, and consider the petition that we have in our packet, we should be fine. The board voted unanimously to deny the petition and stated to Vice Mayor Cooper that he could resubmit the petition with the proper format. And then we had the rezoning application from Allison Woodward, property located on Arrowhead Drive, that's in the Buffalo Valley community. And it was voted unanimously to approve her rezone from R1 to A1, which is consistent with adjoining property. And then we had election of officers. And then also Vice Mayor Cooper also stated to the board that he presented a petition to the town on September 27th. And as of March, it has not been acted on. When asked a petition on what, Mayor Cooper, Vice Mayor said that anyone wanting to do digging on public right of way in the county of Unicoi just prior to beginning work needs to pay for a permit. Any violation will be a $50 a day fine plus disposal. Corey, the city planner, stated that it is already in our new current working ordinance. Vice Mayor then stated that it's never been active. Corey told him that he had never made a formal petition. He then stated he was making one and left the petition with the chairman to be put on the agenda. Vice Mayor also stated that he had received a letter from Samuel O'Hara talking about agenda items. He said it states that every agenda item needs to stay discussion and approval, etc. It is a statewide governing statewide body. And the Board of Zoning Appeals met on March 4th, 2024, and the only one under the agenda was the election of officers.
Thank you. All right. Next, Mountain Homes Kitchen.
So in February, the kitchen was ran for 96.5 hours to 6 of our processing members. You can go through and see the year-to-year comparison for the month of February. Then we have the month-to-month comparison, and you can see that our hours went up, but our income went down. That's because we're still seeing the effects from the equipment malfunction and compensating those users that either lost product or lost valuable time for that. So it's just kind of like seeing what's already came in for March. We should go back to a more normal report, typical report next month, and it should be completely more typical in April. We had our Tennessee Department of Agriculture inspection March 1st, and we received a score of 95. There was some documentation that was lost or misplaced, I was not able to find at the moment. So that did not count negatively against us towards the score. It was something that was recommended that we organize it a little bit better, so I've been working on that quite meticulously for the past few weeks. Still have a lot to work to go through, just kind of documenting things in a more efficient way for us to be able to look back, find those documents, and just be more cautious on making sure people are cleaning up correctly after themselves, all that. Making sure we have the standard operating procedures for every equipment that we own. And different material safety data sheets, all the food safety requirements, making sure that's accessible to everyone, as well as just the people. In February, we had 4 consults, 6 tours, and there's 3 potential clients. Some of them are almost ready to move forward. Like I've had several potential clients in the past few months. And like I said, last month they were still in the early stages. So hopefully with the weather getting better and things kind of picking back up in the community, people will be ready to. Mayor Bullitt and I met with Northeast State to possibly talk about the partnership, if our covenant has ever changed to include workforce development. So possibly offering classroom space for culinary arts. But again, that cannot move forward until we work on our covenant, and that is being discussed at the state with full on and for a seat in the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development.
I'm going to add 2 things. Sync Space is one of many business incubator supporters, job development, business creation. They're one of their, I guess their president or whoever, CEO, the guy that leads all that. He has included Mountain Harvest Kitchen on his, I wish I could say the name of exactly what it is, but it's almost like a color wheel, but it's sort of all the pieces that can go into creating a business that an entrepreneur might go through. And he has included Mountain Harvest Kitchen in like 3 or 4 of those. And Sync Space has a large reach for businesses. And he has been working with Laura and coming down and spending time. And we are now on his Wheel of Fortune, I'm going to call it, Because it's where people can look, if they want to start a food business, they can look at the different options where they might be able to explore. Anyway, and you'll see Mountain Harvest Kitchen in 3 or 4 different pie slices, which I thought was really, really
And they
good.
also spotlighted us on their social media.
Yeah, so they have really invested time into helping us develop out Mountain Harvest Kitchen. And the other thing, I'll probably embarrass Laura by saying this, but before the Department of Health came, she was a little antsy, I'll say that word, about how some of the kitchen looked. And she intended on going up there to do some work, and I told her I'd come help her. And she was shoulder deep in oven cleaning and grime and nasty. And she cleaned ovens, she cleaned oven racks. I swept. I think that's about all I really did, but I swept. But I don't want it to be overlooked at the commitment that she has made to trying to bring that kitchen up to a marketable, usable, appealing. She's been committed to it, and anyway, a lot of folks wouldn't have done that, but she was in there, and let me just say it was nasty. I took some pictures, we'll show that another time, but it was bad. And one of the things we didn't see when we were in there cleaning, apparently there were some semi-sweet chocolate morsels just loose in the bottom of the big mixer bowl.
And that's
You
where.
lift it up, the guy lifted it up, and there the morsels were. We didn't lift it up.
Those are the points that
Because of the chocolate chips. Anyway, I just wanted to just acknowledge she's willing to get dirty to try to do what has to be done. And I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, now, Parks and Rec.
So we are neck deep in Strawberry Festival planning, working on securing more sponsorships. I contacted some larger chains like Food City and Tractor Supply to see if they would be interested in sponsoring. Haven't heard back from any of them yet, but those are some local chains that have a presence in our county. As of the 12th, we had 84 vendors confirmed. And I have confirmed with the public library that they will be doing a reading this year. Last year we had the author of I Love Strawberries come. That was the American Farm Bureau Agriculture Book of the Year. This year's book didn't have strawberries, so I chose a different book it's a children's book about strawberries, and it's about these sisters, and I think it would be a really great read. So the public library, they have their children's director, Hannah Garst, is volunteering to read at the festival. So that's exciting that we are able to continue to bring literacy into the festival and to continue that. For Freedom Fest, still working on securing some bands. I have having trouble securing just one. I've got the other two, but we're missing one. A lot of people are booked or they want to enjoy the holiday. So I'm still looking for one more person for that.
And we are not going to afford, unfortunately, having Isaac back again, but that was going to be a one-time deal, so he will be disappointed, but just can't do it every time.
We also, when we book like porta potties to stay, et cetera, all that stuff for Strawberry Festival, we do that for Freedom Fest at the same time. So we've got all those booked. Nick and I will be working on getting our certification for the event from the fire marshal coming up. Food truck rallies, starting this series back up. The first one will be on March 28th. We're going to do it the last Thursday of every other month. This month will be for the Unity County Animal Shelter. We did it for them last year, and it was a really great turnout, and that's a cause that we can always support. The other ones will be May 30th, July 25th, and September 26th. Still working to secure some of the other organizations that would benefit on those, so once I have those, I'll let you know. But you can go ahead and put those dates on your calendar, because those are definite. So, and that's about all.
Thank you. Once again, a lot of work, don't always see the product, but without the work, the product can never come up. Thank you, Laura. Police chief, you got anything you'd like to share with us?
Largely, police department, we've had 176 calls this month, 15 tickets, 14 code enforcement with incidents, 10 arrests, and 8 accidents, several arrests with felony. We also in town, with the police department, we made a purchase of a Jamar radar counter. We actually put it up right afternoon. Pretty interesting machine, but it will tell us the number of vehicles, the speeds, time of days. Just for instance, from 4 o'clock Friday afternoon till 9 a.m. this morning, there was 13,832 cars that cut up in front of the police department, one of said. So that kind of gives you all an idea of how many cars a day is traveling there. So we'll go through this the last two, Zanewitz, and pretty much anywhere that you guys want to see the times,
Or Pedal Creek, what's it called?
you let me know, and we can get that installed. It really takes 10 minutes, and we can run it from the day to 14 days of long. You guys see it. The police department did make that purchase, and so far, I'm pleased with what we're seeing.
It doesn't do video, but it does digital data, number of vehicles, speed ranges, you know. It gives a lot of information.
If we have to state, it's several $1,000s to have a state come in to do a traffic study. This dollars, so we can do a traffic study.
It's gonna give a lot of
Pretty much
information.
rare. The data it gives out is very detailed, and I'm very pleased with the item being purchased.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a cool thing. Thank you. And we will use it to help some of our citizens who are concerned about speeding on their own. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, you good? Okay, you're not, I don't know who's not and who, but okay, we're good. Okay, all right. Municipal court, we don't have to give a lot of detail necessarily, but just go ahead, summarize.
We had $1,133.75 in payments. We had some litigation tax fees come out of that, so total of $721.55 was our net revenue for the month. As Chief mentioned, there were 15 tickets, 1 registration, 1 stop sign, several speeding, 1 hands-free, so have a variety there. Pretty straightforward on them.
Perfect, thank you. All right, you are up next again with reporters report. And welcome, Tyler. Everybody in the room may not know Tyler yet. Tyler Williams is our new city reporter, and this is your 3rd week. And you're by himself. I mean, Debbie's not here. He's doing great. Yeah, he's doing great, so, yeah, thank you.
So as far as infrastructure is concerned, we've got about 3 active work orders into the county for some paving. Ridgewood Road, Springbrook at Marlton, and Horton Road. Those have all been submitted to the highway department. None of those have been acted upon yet. So we've had some comments and concern. Why isn't this getting done? We've made those submissions and we're waiting for a response from the highway department. Maintenance, as far as that is concerned, Mike and Tony have done hard work, doing a great job. They've done a lot of tree and brush pickup, cleanup, repaired several potholes. The things that we can take care of, we try to take care of first. They cleaned out some culverts on Virginia Street and White Cove. They repaired the exit signs that appear in the kitchen. And then they've been working on remodeling the police department. And then mowing season starting back up, so we're going to be busy with that. A couple other items, Brightspeed Internet reached out to us about an expansion into the area. So they're doing their initial study. They met with Todd and I last week to kind of discuss the initial phases. They're hoping spring or summer will that be taking place. So they're doing their study to see how we're gonna do that. It looks like it's gonna go about as far as Springbrook is about this assessment. So that's
Come from Johnson City into us,
from
uh,
Berlin.
out to this, okay.
And then we are advertising interstate mode bids for the upcoming fiscal year. Petitions or bid packets can be picked up beginning April 2nd, and they're due back on May 3rd.
All right. That's a lot.
I thought we just remodeled now the police.
That's on.
It's
It's a.
specifically the toilet.
The bathroom, it was actually purchased before I came into office, and it was never done. So they're actually doing the toilet and stuff.
It's a toilet.
That was never done.
But require a little
Drywall.
It's just the back.
How many bathrooms do we have?
The three, there's one in my office, one, where Andy's at, and one over there.
Yeah, I knew you just did some remodeling, you know.
Yeah, this was,
That's
it was during this grant, I think Danny had secured the funding and stuff for it. It was, we got from, there was a elevated toilet that had steps went up to it, and they just, with time and everything going on, they never got to it. And then when Mike come in, Mike said, there we go, and he just jumped on it, and they got to shoot rock and stuff every day, so, should be, I'd say in the next week, it should be operational.
Tyler, I got a question. Is Brightspeed going to cover those areas that urban utilities does not cover?
It looked to me like their initial plan and their map was just a main area off of Unicorn Drive, not going very far, maybe go as far as Scotts Market up 107 and towards Springbrook. It doesn't look like they're doing a large expansion at the beginning. It's going to be a very small build, and it looks like it's going to be in some of the same areas where urban power, urban utilities is already going.
Okay, see, Elizabeth Power has solar power there on this end of the county. So how are they going to regulate with urban utilities since they have their broadband?
They have their meeting, they said they're having meetings with all the local utility boards that they have to work with to secure the permits and permissions needed. They're just reaching out to us to let us know this is on the horizon. They didn't give specifics on how they're gonna, negotiate with each of the utility providers. But we did let them know, Elizabeth and Electric covers some of our, Johnson City, they cover some on the other end, and then urban utilities. We let them know about all those arrangements ahead of time, and that's up to them to kind of flesh that out. And, like I said, it's very early on.
But we have to approve it also.
Right, and we told them that.
Okay.
Once they have a plan, their construction team will reach out to us and let us know when they propose to do the work, and I told them to let us know in time to get it on a meeting so that we can approve.
And Brightspeed is part of what used to be
CenturyLink.
So some phone company that's expanding the fiber.
I have Elizabeth and Electric. I lived at the base of Buffalo. We had CenturyLink for years. That's where my husband worked before he passed away. And we were forced to get Brightspeed, and we couldn't get any other. And we do have Elizabeth and Power. And the issue is they cut us back every year, so now we can barely, most of the time I can't access internet services. And I just live right over here at the base of Buffalo. And it's just getting worse and worse. And each time I call Brightspeed, they say, well, we're coming your way, we're coming your way. So what you just said doesn't sound like they're coming my way, because I'm up Garland and off the base of the High Line, that old railroad pass. So there doesn't seem to be any hope, because Lee Brown said, when we talked about urban fiber, that we would definitely be able to get that, and we can't because we're not urban utilities. And so, I don't know, it just seems as though everybody's going around us, and what used to be CenturyLink was wonderful.
We never had any issue, it was always there. And now they cut our usage down, but our bill is going up. So we're not winning anywhere. We can barely use the internet most days. So I would be interested in talking to them about what their plans are and going to the base of Buffalo down on this side of Unicorn Drive, you know. Not just for myself, there are a lot of, there's at least 15 residences out in that direction that have the same issue that I have, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Well, Whispering Pines doesn't have a lot of fiber service, do they?
Well, and it used to be excellent.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is it worse now than it's ever been?
I encourage the representative for when this comes up before the board to have someone here present to answer questions.
Mhm. Yeah. And again, it's not about me, it's
Right.
about everybody in my direction is just complaining about the same thing. There are a lot of times we make phone calls to each other and say, can y'all get on? And then when we get the bill, it's just like, woo, we're paying for what? So I know that's, but it is a concern that we can't get a company to come out there. And we used to be top of the line out here with CenturyLink, and now we're not. So, I don't know.
Thank you. Any other questions for reporter's report? Okay, all right, then we will move to financials. Mr. Williams?
If you look at your balance sheet for the general fund, our current cash on hand is $1,919,767. Our ARPA funds are the state investment pool, that's $479,822. That's at 5.32%. That's what it's earning. It's down a little bit from last month, 5.35. Rates are going down, and so that's going to reflect in that LGIP account as well. We've got the two CDs still with around 100,000 in each of those. One's at 120, one's at 102. Those are locked in at 5.5% for the next little bit. I think those are 13-month CDs. Still have a while on those. If you turn over to your summary financial statement. For the general fund, for the month, we had revenue of $246,006.95. Year-to-date revenue, $1,622,423. And our expenditures for the month, $83,873. Year-to-date expenditures, $1,284,846. If you look at the net income for the general fund for the month, the net income was $162,133. And our net income year-to-date is $337,577. If you look at the non-harvest kitchen, the revenue for the month was $1,123.50. The expenses for the month were $7,195.57, leaving us with a loss of $6,072. There was no activity on the drug fund this month. And then lastly, if you want to look at the graphs that are provided, our state share tax for the month of February was $51,602 for revenue. Previous year was $44,151. And our year-to-date state share tax revenue is $317,013. If you look at the local option sales tax, our February revenue was $156,106. Prior year was $98,536. And our year-to-date local option, $731,306.
Tyler, what do you think the increase was from January to February?
There were a couple of businesses that reported multiple months.
Okay.
And you had year-end spending reported, where a couple were lagging a couple of months behind in reporting. So you had year-end spending around Thanksgiving and Christmas.
So everybody called that? Everybody called
Yeah, I was gonna make an assumption that that reflected some December spend days to be reported in February. All right, those numbers sure look good. They look good. Okay. All right, we need to approve the financial report as it was presented. Is there a motion in a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Alderman Radford has the motion, Alderman Ruthenberg has the, motion and second. Call for the vote, please, to approve the financial record. I'm not saying the question, I need to go.
Alderman Linden,
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Bradford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes, the financial report is approved. Thank you. Okay, any announcements, any comments, announcements, does anybody have, oh, I got hands raising over here. Either one, y'all just go.
Town hall offices will be closed Friday, March 29th, and Remembrance of Good Friday. The planning commission, board of zoning and appeals will be Monday, April 1st, 5:30 here in this room. The next BMA meeting will be Monday, April 15th, 5:30 in this room. And then, board members, we are looking at 3 potential dates for budget work sessions. That will be Wednesday, April 17th, Wednesday, April 24th, and Wednesday, May 1st. So if you have issues with those, let me know, but that's what we're looking at.
What was those again?
April 17th, 24th, and May 1st.
Do you have a specific time on that too? Is it gonna be up starting at 9 o'clock?
We're thinking for the first one, probably 9 to 4, and then go from there.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Police officer Jay Elliott is retiring, and his last day is March 25th. We're having a lunch for him on March 28th at noon. The board is.
Now you said Jay,
Yes, Jay Elliott.
now, what's the date again?
March 28th at noon.
12 o'clock, and then
Yes.
you, okay.
So she goes pipeline, within a year where he is back to Iraq. He will be back at work probably within 2 weeks. He's got some days that he has to show on the military side that he is back, so we might be important back with us.
I don't think he expected any of what they encountered when they left. It was so quiet when they left, before they encountered some stuff while they were there. Okay, that's good news. Okay, anything else? Anything else on this end of the table? It's a Monday.
It's a Monday. I thought it was
I
Friday.
thought it was Friday.
Might as well be Friday. Might as well be
Slow on that one.
Any- Yeah, well, anything on this end of the table? Nope. Everybody good?
We're good.
All right, Mr. Hall? Anything?
Expect some stuff for April,
Okay.
and Howard, that's the thing we'll be discussing.
All right.
Fun time.
All right. Tyler, thank you for jumping in as you have. Really do appreciate that.
I've heard so many good things about how I have to brag on him. As being a former student in Detroit County High School and one of our own here, we're so very proud of the good job that you've been doing so long. And I've heard tremendous amount of people talking about how wonderful that they enjoy talking to you and enjoy visiting you. So we're very pleased to have you.
All right, welcome. Okay, anything else, anyone? All right.
Motion
Motion
to
to
adjourn.
adjourn, second, all in favor? We're adjourned. We're adjourned.
I would stay.
You can stay. You can stay as long as you want.
Right, yes.